2.0 Chaos is a very weird character. All the existing advantages were eliminated, and infinite pressure and better zoning are everything about him. I'll keep grinding, but I don't think it's going to be fun. This isn't just a random Twitter doomer, this is Sanakan, who is one of the best Happy Chaos players in the world, who also, until very recently, tried his absolute hardest to post as much positive stuff about new chaos as possible. But as far as I can tell, even the most positive, hopium-filled Happy Chaos players are unhappy with the change. Not because he's weaker, but because he is not himself. So, what gives? First things foremost, I have to set the scene a little bit by talking about Asuka. I actually kind of enjoy the Asuka rework. He feels a lot weaker, a lot less belligerent, a lot less selfish because he can't regen mana as easily. So they basically nerfed his resources, but in exchange, he gets to pick his staff. It makes him a lot less of just like a spell spam machine, which is a little bit lame because it was fun to execute and it made his playstyle very, very unique. But in the scope of the current version of Strife 2.0, it makes sense. You have to just be a lot more mindful about the spells that you actually do use. He is a little too weak right now. I think he should get a buff or two at some point, but he controls kind of the same. Ultimately, it is a very similar character to what he used to be, and his general approach to the game is similar. This is not the case with Happy Chaos at all, not even remotely, not even close. I'll just explain real quick what the changes actually are before going into why I think they are bad. Core change, biggest change. 5H is now a special. So instead of having 236S, he has 5H now, and this is the only way to pull out the gun, unlike before where he could just kind of do it. The difference now is that it's -2 instead of +3, so it ends your turn, and the knockup is very, very, very bad, so you don't really get much except for this, if you're ready for it, I suppose. Curse no longer goes full screen. It's now blockable. It increases the damage of his bullets slightly, but not by a lot. He can't reload one bullet at a time. He reloads all of them at once, and reload animation and focus animation take the same amount of time. He cannot use gun in the air. His reticle takes a specific time to lock onto the opponent every single time, and no matter what you do, you cannot outrun it. It is now permanently locked onto you no matter where you are or how fast you move. Steady aim no longer guard crushes, and instead, you use portals to keep up pressure or do combos or zone. Upper portal shoots a little bit later and knocks them up. Down portal shoots a little bit faster and knocks them down. So the current new game plan for him is to zone a little bit more. He's kind of a zoner, but not entirely. He's kind of a hit and run type character now. So instead of just popping his gun out at any point in time, he now has to RPS every single time on if he wants to do it during a block string, right? Because he's -2, you're basically RPSing with backdash if you're going to continue pressure or if you're just going to back off or whatever. But because you cannot block with your gun out, you are heavily incentivized to just do a block string and then backdash, bang, bang, run in. That is your new way of playing neutral. So instead of playing neutral like he used to, he needs effectively to set up his reticle, back off until the reticle locks on, and then not have to play neutral and basically just go in. This is objectively more degenerate than he used to be, right? This is like objectively more degenerate in the sense that if you, in case you didn't know, you can use previous combo recipes to go back to previous versions of the game. So here I am in version before this one, where his game plan, let's say Kai Kisuke is playing neutral with me and sticks out his Far Slash. What do I do as a Happy Chaos player? I stick out my 5k to whiff punish it, right? And then I do this and I run up and I get a knockdown. Or if I so desire and if I have the resources for it, I stick out my 5k, shoot the gun, and convert into a wall break. That is bad in the sense that his conversion from it is too good. He gets too good of an option. He can convert into a wall break, which would not make sense for this version of the game. In Strife 2.0, a lot of characters have a much harder time converting into a full screen combo or into wall break or things like that. So it makes sense to nerf this aspect of Happy Chaos. However, if he has his gun out, he can still convert into a wall break off of a whiff punish in this version of the game. He can still do that. He still has the option to do that as long long as he has a gun out ahead of time. So I think what would have been a much better change is if they just made gravity scaling completely ass for a regular shot, right? For steady aim, you could still knock people up, right? Right, so that you could like do this kind of stuff, right? And still get a combo, because you can still do that in the current version, right? If you get a steady aim shot, you basically use the portals to combo your opponent. They could have kept the knockup from steady aim, but let's say you just pull out the gun normally, right? This would not be an option. They could have very easily made it so that he's forced to basically spend all of his concentration and all of his bullets to like slowly bring his opponent to like corner, right? And combo them that way. There were other ways to do this that didn't require him to lose the ability to pull out the gun out of thin air, right? The previous version of Happy Chaos was a heavily dynamic character that could kind of freestyle his offense, his pressure. This is what his gameplay looked like before. I think this vid is a pretty good example of that. But that was how Happy Chaos played back then, right? Let's look at how Happy Chaos plays now. This is what you do. This is what you do. And you, as the opponent of Happy Chaos, are heavily incentivized to run at him like an idiot and just be like, oh, fuck, I better not let that reticle lock on, because if it locks on, then I lose neutral, right? Automatically. So you as a Happy Chaos player opponent, right? It's imperative for you to know, this is -2, and Happy Chaos cannot block with his gun out. If he chooses to put his gun away to block a reversal, to bait anything, to do anything, he has to do this whole ritual again, right? And it has to like backdash, bang, bang, back his way into your face for him to be able to do any sort of mix, anything. Because without his gun, his best method of RPSing without a gun is like curse, I guess. You're RPSing like, is he gonna do this and then backdash, bang, bang, bang? Or if he's gonna do this into like curse and then backdash or bang, right? Yeah, he's a two-step character now. Another thing they changed is that off of knockdown, you always go for like a resource and then you don't have enough time to actually pull the reticle out. So you are choosing between focus or bullets or pulling the reticle out and mixing your opponent. Only grounded mix, by the way. You cannot mix in any kind of way that looks more interesting. Your only mix now is 5D and roll. So don't get me wrong, Happy Chaos still has mix, but the mix is incredibly one note and incredibly visually boring. I don't know about you, but I would much rather look at all of these shenanigans, right, than 5D, 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 2K. Oh, gotcha. Right? Like, this is the least interesting part of his mix. But that's like the way he mixes you now. He basically goes like, okay, /2D or /5D. Ooh, interesting. Another change they made is they made clone actually take a hit for you. And this was toxic. This was incredibly toxic. So this is pure toxicity, right? This is cancer. This is outright cancer. For the cost of like less than 50 meter, you basically do this and you can't do anything. Your opponent can't do anything about that. This is more degenerate than what Happy Chaos had before. The worst part of Happy Chaos before was the conversion rate. He just could convert off of anything because as soon as he got a shot like this, he could do a full combo. The problem is that you could solve this by just making the gravity scaling on the bullet, on the raw bullet, very, very bad. Keep at least some of the knockup on his steady aim, but just remove the knockup off of this so that he can't like combo as easily from it. Instead, what they did is, this is now a combo tool as much as this is. So they doubled down on the aspects of the character that are actually degenerate while removing the stuff that was fun. This is my main issue with the current rework. Oh, if I didn't mention it before, you might have seen this on Twitter. He has steady aim loops now, again. A previous version of Happy Chaos that was too broken had guard crush loops on steady aim, so he could just do this over and over again on you. He can actually do it again, except now he does it with portals. So the idea is you shoot this, low portal, high portal, focus. And you regenerate all of the focus that you just spent on that. And then you do this again, you regenerate all the bullets. And this is a true infinite that generates him meter, by the way, Just imagine that this is a true string. It won't be because I haven't practiced this input. It is kind of hard to pull off for sure. But you can do it gapless, or you can do it with like only 1 or 2 frame gaps that are incredibly hard to deal with. So this is something that people can pull off, something that even if you don't do infinitely, will deplete your opponent's health bar, will crank their risk bar, will give you meter for free. This character is more cancer now. He is more degenerate now. They shot his conversions kind of, but not really. He still has conversions that are pretty good. For him to do them, he just has to do this now first. And then he can do conversions. Instead of him actually playing neutral, like a character, and like whiff punishing his opponent, and then pulling out his gun, and then like getting a knockdown and like running his mix or something, right? Instead of playing that game, he's incentivized so heavily to just negate all of that, say, fuck it, I'm a turtle behind this, pull out my gun, and now we don't have neutral anymore, right? Like, his number one priority is just like, okay, I have all my resources, well, fuck you. I still mix you in just a much more boring way. And not to mention, oh my god, the jank of this new moveset is so silly. This is a special. You can't special cancel it, even though it's a normal, it's a special, okay? It's a 5H, but it's a special, okay? It's effectively 236S now, except it's less fun to do cards with it. So if you do this, yeah, it's just, the input is more boring now. This is an empty slot, right? Like previously he used to have a special for every direction, every normal. His JH is now responsible for this. So previously, right, it was responsible for gun and putting the gun away. So it makes sense. But now in the air, it's responsible for this button, I guess, for some reason. And then the jank of this is horrible. The way that you could previously buffer inputs on steady aim just does not work anymore. Because if you press down, he cancels the shot. Negative edge is suboptimal on this character now. Previously, you had the freedom to kind of choose and work around different ways to do negative edge. There were certain specific counter hit OSs that used negative edge very effectively, that made the character very unique as well, because nobody else had tech like that. He doesn't have that anymore as well. Every unique aspect of the character, or like at least the majority of them, are basically gone in favor of this. The reason why his buffer is now messed up on his new steady aim is the portal. So previously, he would cancel his steady aim stance with focus, sometimes curse, or reload. He can't do that anymore because the way that you would buffer those inputs is you would hold steady aim, you would then let go of the button to hit the bullet while simultaneously inputting the cancel. But you can't, look at the input now. You can't do that because as soon as I press down, he refocuses onto the portal. The shot does not come out. You have to deliberately put a gap in your shoots, in the way that he shoots now. Yeah, the previous version of how to input steady aim felt very, very satisfying because it felt like you were charging up a shot, like you were actually waiting for the clean hit to happen. Like you entered the steady aim stance, right? You held down H, right? As like you're fucking preparing to shoot, and then boom, you shoot it. This does not work the same anymore. You have to use simple inputs because if you try to input focus to cancel, this will happen. If you try to input curse, this will happen. So you have to use simple inputs now. You have no choice. The freedom of expression in not just the game plan itself, but in terms of the actual inputs is shot. He feels so much more linear. You have to play him a certain way or else. You have to input things a certain way or else. And the playstyle that he has now that you're forced into is less dynamic. You don't play neutral like you used to. You don't freestyle offense like you could before. Can't do much in the air. Your feet are planted. I think they made a huge misstep in this. They doubled down on the aspects of Happy Chaos that made him boring and annoying, deleted everything that made him fun. Don't get me wrong. Okay, don't get me wrong. Dealing with this, right? Like, this is fucked up. The reward he got off of this was too strong. But the reason he got that reward was because of shot. So again, my simple suggestion of shooting the gravity scaling on 5H would have worked. If he could do this, and then his only conversion off of it was to shoot his gun, he would just get a knockdown. That's it. That's not a huge reward for that. Like getting a fuzzy 50-50 and getting a simple knockdown off of it is pretty normal. That's not like an out of line, like crazy thing. If they wanted to shoot his conversions, they could have just done that. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I think that Happy Chaos is not necessarily quite like unusable, right? But the problem is that right now, actually, let's look at this. I don't know if you've seen this, but this is really funny to me. Overall, Happy Chaos has a 30% win rate right now. But in Vanquisher, I think it's even lower, right? Yeah, it's 23% in Vanquisher. I think a big part of that is the character changed, right? He's not actually that much weaker than everybody else. People will figure out, oh, this is what you do, so they will just do that. And they will just stick to this like boring fucking, and they will win off of that a little bit more. And he will become a mid-tier who, in order to actually play efficiently, has to play in a way that is pure cancer. That's my prediction. Maybe my prediction will be wrong. My predictions have been wrong before, right? And truly, 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 if you are a Happy Chaos hater and you are celebrating this rework overall, right? Not just the fact that he doesn't regen bullets on Deus Ex Machina, which I think is a good change. Not just the curse change, right? Like if you're celebrating the overall direction of the character, I think you're kind of short-sighted on that because he will be more cancer. He's just going to be weaker, but he's going to be more cancer than he was before. That's my personal opinion. I would much rather get mixed 40 different ways and engage with that than engage with this. Engage, quote unquote, with this, right? Or quote unquote, engage with this, or quote unquote, engage with this, or engage with this. Why would I want to do that? I don't want this. This is the reason why I am not going to be playing this character in the foreseeable future. I was looking forward to getting back into playing tournaments in 2.0, and I am not going to do that because I don't have a character that I enjoy like to that extent in the game yet. I will discover what my new main is by the end of the Vanquisher challenge, by the end of me getting every character to Vanquisher. I will revisit characters I've done before. I will play the remaining cast, and then a few months down the line, when all of that is done, I will reevaluate Happy Chaos as well and his place in the meta and what he does now to win. And maybe Robokai will be out by then. Actually, we'll look at that as well. And yeah, until then, I don't think I'm gonna play. I'm not gonna be a Leo man. Don't worry. By the way, okay, sorry, you just triggered me. Can we talk about how Leo Whitefang has been in the game longer than Happy Chaos, and he's been top 5 the entire fucking time, more consistently than, like, I would argue Happy Chaos was not even top 5 at the start of Season 4. There were several characters that were more degenerate than him in that version. Leo has been a top tier this entire fucking time, and he got a new move, and he barely got nerfed. And nobody gives a fuck. Everybody's just like, oh my god, Happy Chaos got nerfed. We're so back. Get the fuck out of here. Why is Leo okay? Why can he get away with it? Why can he get away with it? Why can he get away with it? Sorry.